Let's face it, America's fucked under Biden.
Biden's not getting back in.
Not a mission.
Not a chance.
And God said, let there be light.
And there was light.
And there was light. There was Tilly light.
That's the last night.
It's a nice light. It's a Tilly light.
I like your light.
You like my Tilly light?
Oh, I like your Tilly light.
I love a good Tilly light.
Comes with a whole fucking workshop by
I still can put these back into the mess without setting myself on fire. Yeah. The little embers that are still on the lighters soon extinguish, but you never know, you might get that flare up in your face. You end up with no eyebrows. Isn't that lovely?
Lovely.
What a lovely little light. Look who's here. Rob's back. 13 countries.
12
countries.
13 if you count Kosovo.
13 if you count Kosovo. You're back from your travels.
Yeah.
War weary.
War weary.
You stayed with the Adjust tribe in Panama, was it? Or no?
Paraguay. Stayed with a few. I was with the Mapuche.
The ones that made the bow and arrows, were they the ones that...
The Aceh, yeah.
Yeah, the
Aceh.
Yeah.
So the Aceh is interesting. There's only 2,000 left because they...
Is that all? Seriously?
Yeah, they were persecuted, they were hunted, enslaved.
They're the ones in
right until
Paraguay?
right until the 70s.
Fucking hell.
So, and they're still fighting the government today for, you know, certain things because you know, they just won't leave them alone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we're talking about eating a few things. The witchery grub, which is a big...
It was big, yeah, it was probably...
Fucking maggot about that length there.
About 3 inches.
Alive and wriggling, and you ate two or three of them in one go.
No, I ate...
I would starve to death, to be honest with you, mate.
I ate one live and then we fried some up as well, so...
That makes it better, does it?
Just, same, they're not that bad. It's all a mind thing, really.
Fair play to you, to be honest with you. Fair play to you.
We stayed with them, great people, amazing people.
Yeah.
It's always, you know, living with like tribal people, indigenous folk.
Yeah.
Across the globe's always it's like a privilege for me.
That's a good way of putting it. Privilege, yeah.
It is a privilege.
I would love to actually. Funny enough, your sister in Panama. Have an invite over there to stay there. You lived with them for years, you did, but it must be an absolutely amazing experience. Completely different, almost Stone Age culture.
There's lots of different ones. So Paraguay's got quite a lot of, you know, I think they're around 19, if I'm not mistaken. But there's different groups within the, you know, different languages. And the problem is Paraguay, they were all so persecuted and they didn't, you know, and it went on until, you know, fairly recent times. And then
government persecution or ethnic persecution?
Yeah, government, ethnic. It was like, so when I was there, like when I lived with the, you know, the community there, they would see, so the way they talk would be like, you know, those are Paraguayans.
Yeah.
Even though obviously they live in Paraguay, you know, so they will always see themselves as they are their own community. It's their nation. But it wasn't just, there was government, there was you know, different sides from the different, you know, neighbouring countries.
It was like an ethnic cleansing, was it, of a minority?
There was other stuff going on. There was like child slavery, which is a hot topic nowadays.
Child slavery?
Yeah. So right until recent times, till the 70s, you know, they would have had grown-ups would have been like hunted and killed, and the children basically taken away. And pretty sad, really. But they, you know, they were lower than that. Their numbers have increased a touch, but they, I think there's 6 or 7 communities of the Aceh. They're the smallest tribe in Paraguay.
That must have been an amazing experience.
Yeah, so like imagine,
something like that.
you know, the last 2,000 people of a
particular
you know,
race,
I mean,
tribe.
So, but they're so like no one can go there. Like they keep their communities closed. Government's not really allowed in there. They sort of look after themselves.
Is their population declining, or is it starting to
No, I
increase?
think they're slowly doing okay now because they're a bit more protected. You know, and they protect themselves. They're still fighting with the government over, you know, there's reparations of sorts, you know, land disputes and whatnot. I don't know the whole depth of it, but it's the same depth that goes with indigenous tribes all over the world because they've just been persecuted.
If you want to catch up on Rob's expedition in Central American countries, before we go on, reach the Balkans, get him on Falcon Outdoors on YouTube.
Yeah, there's some pretty, there's a few videos. I've got a video with them, but it's about an hour. So you can see we're focusing on a lot of the outdoor skill sets, you know, foraging in the jungle. So we went into the jungle, you know, eating some of the local cuisine and
witchery grub, that still does my head in.
made doing sort of like, they're very famous for their bows. The bow and arrow is their main thing. They're probably the best within.
I've seen you making them on your video right enough. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Really powerful bows.
Are you any good at it?
I'm good. Yeah,
you're a bit of a archer, like.
Yeah, I do archer, but it's the wood's so it's very different. So, but yeah, interesting. They use a type of wood called alecrim, which is a wood that's like, it's kind of endemic to that region, I believe. So, but yeah, but I work with the Mapuche in Chile. But the Mapuche, they're more southern. They were like in Patagonia. I was on the coast.
Are they Spanish speaking?
They do speak Spanish.
I heard you actually conversing with them.
Yeah. The Aceh don't. They don't. They speak like bits of Spanish too. But you know, there's usually some that do, some that don't. The Mapuche all speak Spanish, but the Mapuche are quite a strong tribe, and they don't. You know. Again, it's like there are some tribes they're strong. They, you know, they kind of take it. They don't sort of, you know, let themselves be pushed around. If that was so, they were in Chile where I was with them. They had about 65,000 hectares, I believe, and that was their territory. And again,
protected.
Yeah. Like the government's not allowed in. You know, unless it's sort of, you know, they run their own sort of radio system. They've got like, you know, sort of your CB, you know, radios, broadband, not broadband,
radio, high frequency, HF radio.
Yeah. So, yeah, VHF radios, but they've got their own channels. Again, and it's only for their community. So
that was in Paraguay. Then you've done a lot of the other Central American countries.
Yeah.
Your favourite being Argentina?
No, well, Argentina's probably the best country for camping. And wild camping, and it's the cheapest. The people are the best in Paraguay, without a shadow of a doubt. And Paraguay is fairly cheap too. Chile's a bit dearer, and Brazil was quite expensive too. So I've done a bit of time in Brazil, and then
an epic trip.
And then
the same.
Flew to Europe, and then spent the rest of the time in the Balkans.
Through the Balkans, yeah.
My favourite part of the world. That.
So it must be nice actually travelling through the Balkans.
Sorry, my light flickering on and off. Yeah, no, it was good. And it was like, you know, good long stints. So we done like pretty much about a month in Albania.
What do you think of Albania?
Great, loads of, you know, very cheap. You know, great for wild camping. There's no, you know, you can wild camp anywhere. People are really hospitable. Like, people are likely, if you camp in the woods, you might get shepherds bring you food because they think you're that poor.
Seriously.
Which kind of happened to us. So really good. Food is amazing because they're like very, they're very self-sufficient generally all around the Balkans. You know, they're
it's a big little top up.
No, I'm grand. I've got some still, I think. Yeah. So yeah, and we've done a lot of Albania, mountains, coast. You know,
amazing, spectacular scenery. I must have absolutely
safe as well. Like the cities, but I find that all around the Balkans really, because everything's like, you know, it's very sort of family oriented, traditional. So you know,
family values.
Values.
Non-woke, of course.
Absolutely, completely non-woke. You know,
That's always
wokeism
good,
is, it's you know, it's close to being banned almost. You know, so more so even in Macedonia and Serbia. Macedonia is probably even cheaper than Albania, and then Serbia was a bit dearer, but not dear as in the sense like if we travelled from here to Serbia, it'd be cheap to us, you know.
So you ended up in the Black Forest, your home, your birthplace.
Well, I had to go. I had like 2 weeks of work there. After, so travelling.
Matthias is doing okay.
Oh yeah.
Hello, Matthias, if you watch.
And where else was we? Kosovo as well. Kosovo.
Amazing trip.
And then we sort of, because we ended up not flying to Germany, so we sort of bus and trained it. So we stayed in Budapest for 3 days.
Hungary, yeah.
And then got a great sort of train ride back.
6 months fucking
expedition
trip. You seen a lot.
Yeah, a lot of camping, a lot of wild camping, a lot of camping on campsites too. It wasn't, you know, because you can't, you know, you couldn't sustain what we're doing here because of travelling. You're grabbing buses. But we were going to a lot of wilderness areas, you know, so a lot of.
So you're back again, and you will be going back to Finnebrook Woods as bushcraft instructor again. Looking forward to that. I missed that place.
Back in September.
Back to the ground. But you're heading off now to the Pyrenees with an expedition.
Yeah, one little expedition for about 7 days.
Terrible life you lead, you know that.
I know. It's so hard, you know. But
how do you do?
I'm telling you, you know, seeing airports all the time is not nice. So,
yeah.
You know, people always say that you're so lucky, you know, but then.
No, I know it's a pain in the arse, the airports, and getting checked in,
and dealing with luggage and trying to get the weight right, and then fighting with people if they do find it over, you know, like it's ridiculous. It's one of them things. I remember someone once saying, you know, I was actually with Louise saying, they're like, boo-hoo, your life's so hard, because we was travelling, and I was like, well, if it was that easy, everyone would do it. Right, so
everybody would do it.
Yeah, if you think carrying a massive pack on and backpacking around and then travelling, packing up and moving, and planning and moving and trying to get things right, going through different wilderness areas that you've never been to, well, you know, anyone can do it, then please do it. You know,
have to do it.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to go on an expedition, hook up with Rob at Falcon Outdoors, send him a private message. It's anywhere from Pyrenees to India,
anywhere in the world,
Tibet, anywhere in the world basically. You even can organise the Panamanian India visit to meet the Panamanian Indians, the tribe there you actually grew up with in your childhood, lived with for a couple of years, which I want to do because your sister's based over there, isn't that right? So
well, we've got something in the pipelines in Paraguay, because so the
you like Paraguay.
Yeah, well, the Aceh one, I've got the hiccups from that whiskey there. But the Aceh we're going to people. Someone else camping.
Well, you have actually probably Stephen Reid.
Another stealth camp.
Stephen Reid.
Could it be? Who knows?
Hi, Stephen.
You're behind us there in a tent.
Seen that.
Hello.
Whoever you are, and if you watch this video later, you've got to mention.
No, the Aceh, they have a cultural festival that goes for a week, where they do archery, and they sort of, you know, you can buy stuff there, but they'll teach like all their basketry, because they do all the bamboo work and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but we would like to do a 2-week sort of offer with them, so I'll take a group out there. So that's a week in the bush, you know, it's sort of pre-Amazonian type jungle bush living camps, and then
That would be awesome. I'd love
so
to
you
do that
spend a
myself.
week learning, you know, the skill sets and living off the land with them, and then the week after is the cultural festival, where
That would be
it's more of
awesome.
a chilled out bit where you're just enjoying a bit of outdoor life, and
That would be quite awesome indeed.
you know, so no, Paraguay very good. It's cheap, like I say, it's cheap. It's just probably a bit more, how could I say, not the easiest to sort of fly directly to.
Bit of toing and froing.
Yeah, you might maybe if you know from Madrid, you could probably get flights to the capital, Asuncion.
Must actually, just while I remember, a couple of shout outs for a couple of people on the other channel. So Craig and Davy from Treasure Ireland, looking forward to the Three Spires, and a latecomer to the show, Jimmy Hockey, looking forward to meeting up with you, mate. Marcus from Nuts to 11, looking up a meeting with you. Well, I don't know if you're actually going or not, but a shout out to you anyway. D-Technician, as always, Daniel Werner from Fermanagh Detecting. Young Owen Brown, who actually excelled himself on UTV Live, a good ambassador for the hobby. Looking forward to Mahon's Way, or Mahon's, whatever it is, on Tuesday night, 7:30 on UTV. Yeah, so I think that's the shout-outs done. The obligatory shout-outs. Yeah. If I've missed anybody, sorry about that. But anyway.
Oh, we don't like mandatory. It's not a good word.
No, we don't like. No, we don't like mandatory. We don't like mandates in this channel.
Mandates, pretty bad, isn't it?
It's the last generation with common sense.
Yeah, but like we all got like battered. Like, you know, if we got done something wrong, we got a hiding.
Absolutely.
Right.
I think that's what's missing nowadays.
Yeah. No, but like the thing is, it's proven that it's missing, because that, like, we literally this generation's fucked. They're fucked, absolutely fucked.
It's, see, when they took away discipline in schools, that was the start of it.
Yeah.
And then when it's an offence to actually physically harm your child, either by a good spanking or a wallop or whatever, you know. I was brought up on wallopings.
Yeah, like smack on the bum's no big deal.
Smack on the arse, yeah, exactly. Oh, it's nuts, pretty nuts nowadays. A generation of children who never know.
I would like to know how they deal with that if it's in a Muslim community.
Yeah.
You know, if they spank their kids.
They probably do.
Yeah, I bet you they do.
No doubt about that.
So I'd love to see social service go in there. Fuckers.
You know that's never going to happen.
They'd fucking always hassle us, wouldn't they? But I always loved that the left have to do so much mental gymnastics, don't they? Because you got Muslims attacking LGBTQ now, so like.
But they don't have any reformations against.
And they, oh no, that's fine though. Like, that must be some mental gymnastics they have to pull.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we could go. Piss.
Oh, I thought you said hiss or piss. Piss.
You think are they wild campers or just coming off the mountains late?
Don't know, are they still there? Hard to say.
I would say if they were wild campers, they'd probably come over, say hello at least. Oh. So Ben, another shout out Ben, who cannot be here tonight for a multitude of reasons, one of which is being working.
Oh. So nothing original then?
Mate, you're missed and you need to get out soon. Would you add to that, Rob?
Yeah, definitely. He needs to get out soon, because like we could starve to death if he doesn't cook something. Yeah. You know, he needs to get his 500 litre backpack with the whole entire stock of Petromax gear and cook on his cast iron stuff.
Boy, he can cook, mind you. By fuck, he can cook.
Well, he has a mobile kitchen.
Basically,
in a backpack. I always remember the day he come to the camp and he bought an oven.
That's right. That was it? It wasn't Petromax. That was who was that?
It was like I actually thought he bought like a microwave, but it turned out it was just an oven.
That was a class. What do you call that? That wasn't a fuel raven.
He's like the guy, you know, like in those memes where like I'm just taking a small backpack out and it's like, you know,
15 Sherpas equivalent.
The huge backpack on the back, you know.
Yeah.
That's him with just cooking gear.
We're chatting about you, mate. Behind your back. Just so you know. It's all private, of course. Nobody else will hear it. So the Pyrenees, many's going over with you?
I think we're 5.
6 women?
4, 5. 6
all males?
No, all males. All males. Yeah. But
there'd be a bit of hiking in that one, I would say.
Yes, it's, you know,
that would be for
camp.
the fittest of the.
It's not that really. It's like any. I don't. It's. You know, it's not about doing the peaks. It's more of like sort of through hiking and enjoying the scenery and reconnecting. It's actually for sort of a mental health group. So they've contacted me out to do that. So it's you know.
So you get a free jolly to the Pyrenees.
Well, I've been there before actually.
Oh, I know you have.
I've worked there.
Is there anywhere you haven't not been and would like to go to?
Russia.
Russia, yeah, I'd love to go to Russia.
Russia, I'd like to go. I'd like to go to Japan. That's not really for the outdoor side. I just love the
vibe, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, their culture, you know, obviously comes from, you know, Bushido, the samurai culture. So Bushido was I think there's the 7 principles of the samurai. And I think a lot of cultures,
that is, yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of cultures had that. The Vikings would have had something similar. But with Japan, they've kind of integrated that very well into their society, into their modern society, and that's just something I have a lot of respect for. I have a lot of respect for. So like they're, you know, in their schools they don't have caretakers because the kids have to clean the schools. You know,
that's a good ethic.
You know, there was always, I remember hearing about this, their fans in one of the World Cups. Can't remember. I don't really follow football, but they stayed behind the stadium to clean it up after. Yeah. So they've got this, and you know, anything they do it to the best of their ability. You know, there's no, I don't know, I like that about them.
Do you follow women's football by any chance? Being in England, being in the World Cup? Yes. Oh, sadly they lost.
No.
Women's football, I thought, this is going to be an absolute
I don't
nonsense.
really even follow men's, so.
I don't follow football generally, never mind women's football, but I was actually quite surprised. I watched the highlights, a few highlight reels of England's English women's march into the semi-finals and then into the final. And it was actually quite, the standard of play was actually surprised me. It was actually very, very good, you know. Not to mention the eye candy, like, you know. Am I being sexualist there? Or sexualising women there? Sexualising women there?
Sexualist.
Probably.
That's something Del Boy would say, sexualist.
Sexualist, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was very good, actually. A lot of people are poo-pooing it and this, that and the other. Because, I don't know if they can quite manage equal wages with the men. I mean, men's football's ridiculous, the amount of money they earn, you know. They're like sort of celebrity sports stars, you know, these high-paying footballers. I don't think the women will match that, but certainly watching the few clips I've seen on YouTube leading up to the World Cup with the women's ladies, the women's team. I mean, it was good. It was yeah. Certainly think they should be not on a parallel with men's. I don't know, but then watching it, the skills were there. There's no doubt about that, and it was. I just think they have a whole.
We was talking about this the other day. You know, like in tennis, they have men's singles, women's singles, then they have the doubles, but then they have the mixed doubles.
Yeah.
So they could just do mixed football as well.
Mixed rugby. Yeah. What do you think of that? That would be interesting.
Like a cocktail mixed rugby.
Or is that sexualising women again? I don't know.
Oh, I thought you was talking about drink. Oh. Well.
Don't get me started on woke. Don't get me started on PC bollocks. But yeah, no, I was quite surprised. I was actually pleasantly surprised with the skill, with the standard of football in the England team leading up to their World Cup.
Yeah.
So, big up to the women. Well done.
Yeah, doing better than the men anyway, probably.
Well, we are going to talk anti-wokery and bollocks into the small hours, so I want to bid you good night from me and good night from Rob, and we'll probably see you in the morning for breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
have breakfast in the morning.
Yeah, we'll get a few more shrimps on the barbie.
A few mushrooms on the barbie. I have some lovely connoisseur sausages and some freshly laid eggs from the arses of my own hens.
A connoisseur sausage.
Connoisseur sausage and eggs. I've also brought beans.
Oh,
I know you guys like beans. English guys like beans, don't they? Well, you're not English, you're German. But I've got beans. Yes.
Well, that's very good. Well, I hope I see some of the guys that are watching at some point. If not,
you may do. You may do.
You know,
get yourself down to Finnebrook on one of Rob's bushcraft courses. I will be there. Purely helping background. Yeah. A gopher. I'll be a gopher.
A gopher.
Yeah.
Go for this, go for that.
See you in the morning.
Cheers.
Fuck Bud Light, fuck CMT, yeah, fuck Target and fuck Disney. These hypocritical woke liberals know they're never gonna learn. It seems they're calling me stupid, calling me dumb, driving this song to #1. Should've known it by now, fuck around and find out you joke. Go broke.
We're just lucky because we've got
fuck Starbucks, Barbie, Whoopi in the view, fuck biting, Kamala, AOC, fuck Snuffleupagus down on Sesame Street, can't take it no more. Give me Trump 22-4, Sleepy Joe, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Fuck Bud Light, fuck CMT, yeah, fuck Target and fuck Disney. These hypocritical woke liberals know they're never gonna learn. It seems they're calling me stupid, calling me dumb, driving this song to #1. Should've known it by now, fuck around and find out you joke. Go broke. Fuck 'em all. Well, fuck Bud Light, fuck CMT. The silent majority will tell you with their wallet. We didn't beat up Jussie Smollett. Fuck Bud Light, fuck CMT, yeah, fuck Target and fuck Disney. Damn all these miserable fucking liberals know they're never gonna learn. It seems they're calling me stupid, calling me dumb, driving this song to #1. Should've known it by now, fuck around and find out you joke. Go broke. Fuck 'em all. Go broke. Fuck 'em all.
I'm always happy.
So we're going to pack up now and head on. Great night, good catching up with Rob, and no doubt we'll talk to you very soon. So thanks for watching.
You're welcome.
And it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from Rob. All the best, see you on the next one, bye bye.
Stayed with a few. I was with the Mapuche in Chile.
What tribe buggered you senseless?
What? Lad, fuck CMT. Fuck Disney.
You know these woods are haunted. You never get that spiritual vibe that you would get in the like of say. Oh, that was my seat there. But it's terrible to be shadow banned all the same. What do you do?
Surely,
there goes your water filter.
Oh, it is.
No, for fuck's sake.